Everyone, it's Sean from Sean's Travels. This is Saturday, May 13th of 2023, and this is another installment in the Sean's Neighborhood playlist. This time I have gone north of my home and ended up beyond the road that leads to the highway, and I'm just taking a look at some of the trails and the cottages that are around. I mean, not inside them, just exploring the roads nearby, which appear to lead right to the shoreline of the Ottawa River. So I think the best thing to do for today, if I can, is to get right up to the shore of the Ottawa River and use that as a thumbnail if at all possible, because it looks like it's going right down there to the beach. So that's a good picture to get. So I'll get more when I get closer. Okay, so I am here. You can see some of the Ottawa River there. Let me just get to a point where the trees don't obstruct anything. Here we go. Here we are. And I should be able to get right onto the shoreline and get a good picture. Let's go over here, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's a good picture on all three sides. And that way, looking back more towards the village itself. So, yeah, it's quite nice. Reminds me of my childhood in Muskoka 40 years ago. Alright, so I guess I'll continue on the road a bit and get more footage as I come through the park trails on the way home. Or once I get back on the road. Actually a bit more of an unobstructed view the closer you get here. Yeah. And the cottages are up on the hill, of course, I don't see anyone. It's neat though, they all have these rock walls that allow you to park your car over there. But you can see the road going through the woods up ahead, so I'm going to go as far as I can and then make my way back. So when I have something interesting to show, I'll be back again. So I'm back on the sign said McNulty Road. It goes quite a ways ahead until it gets to a beach I've never seen before. See, I might only be in this community, in this region, for another year, so I'm going to take advantage of all 4 seasons that we have now and get all the footage in the spring, which we're still in, footage in the summer. Well, I did that last summer, but footage in the fall, footage in the winter. So I'll film probably when I get to the beach. Close to the beach now, you can see how that piece of driftwood looks almost like a bird of some kind. I think that's the end of the road up there. Yeah, there's some quite big houses here. There's houses on the lake side. There's houses, well, the riverside. There's houses on the other side, on the hilltops. Quite a big house, actually. It has a 2nd floor garage apartment. Look at that. It kind of reminds me of when I lived in Saint Jean, Quebec about 3 years ago. During COVID, you know, there was nowhere to go and buy stuff and shop on the weekends, so I started exploring different areas of the city I never had before. And I found a whole neighborhood full of super rich homes. Huge ones. This kind of reminds me of it, but in a more rural setting. And I didn't get any pictures or video of the neighborhoods then, but I hadn't conceived of the notion of having a travel channel at that time. That's why I'm doing this now. So I'll be back when I get to the park. Alright, there's something interesting going on here. That says dead end, that says private property. That's someone's house as well. I see the no motorized vehicles sign. Ah, here we go. Approaching the area that'll lead me to the park and the beach. That's good. See, if I'd driven my car here, I would have had to park over here. Never made my way through. But this way, I did. And you can see some of the swamp and river here. It's nice. It's nice. You don't have to travel far. You don't have to spend money to get some interesting sights and sounds that you never would find if you just stuck to your normal daily routine. It's kind of nice. And you can see the creek through there. You know, from this angle, looking through the screen, you can hardly see any of the little small trees in the way because the leaves haven't come out yet. Ooh, look, a footbridge. Look at that. It's almost like the covered bridge at the park. Well, the New York State Entrance Center now. I do hope that isn't someone's cottage because you're on a public trail here going towards the beach, but look, a sandbar. See that? Sandbar. You're getting a lot of good pictures. You're going to have a lot to pick for a thumbnail. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to walk along this trail for a bit and let's see here. That looks like it leads up to someone's house. Don't want to go up there. Looks like we're very close to the beach though. Let's go along here, Alright, here we are. This beach certainly is on the Google Maps, but it isn't anywhere else. Well, it's a bit wet there. Good thing I'm wearing good shoes. Ah, here we go. Here's a good picture. Yeah, that's definitely public beach, all right. You can see the windsock over there. You can see the waves. You can see the Ottawa River and the point way over there. I don't know if there's a trail that leads all the way over to that point over there, but I might aim for that. And here we are at the sandbar crossing. So I'm going to go this way. You know, I never thought about it before, but now that I'm here at a beach and I'm looking at the trees and the sand and everything, it really reminds me a lot of southern Alberta, where there's nothing but sand or dirt or trees or, well, there's not a lot of trees. That's what I mean. There's a good view of the Quebec mountains again. The sandbar goes up here. There's a little pond with some ducks on it. 2 ducks from what I could see. Yeah. So I'll see if there's more up there. And it looks like the sandbar pretty well dead ends here. I hope you can hear me over the washing of the waves and everything. I mean, I'm here before a lot of the leaves have come out, but you can see how some of the trees have their feet in the water. You can see where we came from, close to the windsock, where we're going. Hopefully that point over there. Hope it's not someone's house. But there's a good picture of the beach. So I'll get more when I get on the other side of the neon orange windsock. I am. There's a big pine tree silhouetted against the Ottawa River. But I think I've reached the limit of where I can go. It really does look like it's private property and a private road from here. Because I couldn't go there, it said private road and everything, but you can at least see the view through the trees of everything. That's quite a thumbnail too. So I guess I'll go back now and continue my way home. So I'll film more when I get to Grouse Park itself. at least where I came out on the trails, and then I'll get the trails going through the woods towards Grouse Park. See you in maybe 10 or 20 minutes. I'm back again. Wanted to get some footage of the road going in the other direction away from the park. You can see that here. And I'm doing my best, even though I'm walking, to hold the phone as steady as I can. Although, of course, in the Movie Maker, I could apply a stabilization filter. And the thing is, because we're slightly in the shade of the trees, I can actually see the phone screen quite well. So that's a pleasant surprise as well, because when I was looking over the digital camera footage that I'm going to put together for videos for Sean's travels, I realized I'm going to have to put in brackets retro style, because even though the digital camera is only 12 years old, the video quality is actually, to my eye anyway, inferior to the big video camera we used in grade 8 enrichment, which took VHS tapes, and that was filmed in 1992. I mean, a digital camera cost my mom $140 for my birthday present, February of 2011. So, but it is 12 years old. Maybe its processors are failing or something, but I use it when the cell phone runs out of room, when it's really sunny and I cannot see the phone screen. So anyway, that's about all for now. So I will, once I enter the park trails, because I realized I never got the Grouse Park trails on video before, so I'm going to correct that today. See you later. I'm not at Grouse Park yet, but I am at a trail that parallels the road. So let's take a look. I'm still north of where I've usually been, but this trail didn't have any gate. It didn't have any trespassing signs or anything. And I realized there's something else I can get from here in Deep River before it gets too hot in the summer. I can go south to the Deep River Hospital and get pictures and footage from those trails. The trails I first went on in late January of 22, even before I officially moved here. So that'll be something. And of course the trails that go around the perimeter of Grouse Park itself. So it looks like I'm approaching some kind of clearing with those big pine trees up there. Still don't see any signs, so that's good news. You see, there's a sign, but I'm on this side. Now take a look at here. What does this sign say? The forest in this property is being managed by Ministry of Natural Resources. So you don't go on that side of the fence, but you can be on this side of the fence. So that's good. I'm getting pictures along the way so I can break up the video a bit with visual chapters, and so I have my choice of thumbnails. They always say on all those YouTube help sites, create the thumbnail. Think about what your thumbnail is going to be first, even before you film the video. Well, I don't quite go that far, but I do it while I'm filming. Well, no clearing after all, so... Oh, wait a minute. There is. Here we are. There we are. I don't know if I had talked before, because I didn't think to pull out the camera until I got close to that beach park. But I have been going for walks in the woods for more than 30 years, since we lived near Kirkfield, starting in 1989, the summer. And when I look at these trees, these tall trees, I'm reminded of two things. Number one, the woods near the cottage development, near my home, that Noah and I went to when they played the Star Trek RPG game, on actual paper in an actual notebook, but That'll be something I'll talk about maybe on Sean's model builds one day or something. But it also reminds me, those trees, of the Latvian forest that I saw during deployment. Because there wasn't a lot of underbrush. You could see through the trees and everything there. Anyway, I'll pause the video for now and I'll come back when I reach an intersection that gets me close to something familiar. The phone has limited room. I don't want to take it all up. Sorry about that. I pressed stop when I meant to press pause. I've gotten a bit further on the trail. Now I, of course, am still heading south, so I will run into the road that used to represent my northern walking boundary. I forget the name of the road, quite frankly, but that's okay. And it's interesting. Look, look, look. Arched over trees. They arch over from the roots, and the branches dig right into the ground. So strange. Oh, and look ahead of us. Some of the trees arch over the path. Let me see if I can get an angle where the sun's not glaring. There you go. But this trail is going to go on for another while, so I'll get another update when I get to something that looks a bit different. I'm back. The trail is getting a bit more overgrown now. A lot more grass is encroaching. It's a bit harder to make out. You can see how the leaves are beginning to come out. They're that very fresh young green. It's, as I said earlier in this video, it's May 13th. But I'm not getting closer yet to the road. I will. Oh, I see something. There is a giant clearing here. Now let me get over the tree and we can go into the giant clearing, which looks almost like it has some kind of huge fort in it. Look, see? There's another good thumbnail. Now I have no idea what this is, but there it is. You have a huge clearing. You have it's almost like a much wilder version of the park that you've probably seen in my intro video. That park is going to feature in the... You know, I thought that park was going to feature in the 1-year anniversary video, but you know what? 1-year anniversary of Sean's Travels is going to be on July 10th of this year. So why not film something on that exact day, have it upload to Dropbox that same day, because of computers having trouble detecting my phone, and then release it that day on the very 1-year anniversary. And I might as well go back to the park where it all started, but maybe approach it from the other direction. That's a good idea. Okay, so we're back on the trail now. You can see the big fort from a different direction. And I continue on up here. You can see the trail's getting wider now, almost wide enough for a vehicle. So I'll come back when I have more. I've reached a branching point. You can see a little trail goes off to the left. Probably takes you back to the road. And then there's a trail that goes straight ahead, which should, theoretically, head straight south. Well, actually, this is heading east, because there's the sun. Here's a picture of the sun. That's in the south. And you know it's spring edging into summer because I just saw a couple of black flies buzzing around my head. In fact, one of them may have gotten in the way of getting the picture of the sun. So, and you can see that big tree going right across the trail. Once I get closer, I'll get a picture of that as well. You can see the beautiful pine trees, and if you look at the video, you can probably see the black flies swarming around. I seem to be the only life form on this trail, so they say, ooh, a meal. All right, getting closer, and there's the picture. So I will come back when I hopefully get to the road. Hit pause again, but I believe I recognize where I am. This is the big field across the road from the cemetery. And it's in Deep River, of course. It's very close to the road, which is just beyond those trees. I used to drive in on that road. Then I found out that the road that went towards the park and the overflow parking for the ski hill really was meant more for four-wheelers and my car. No damage, fortunately. But you can see everything. Look at that. There's the cemetery across the road. So I'll take a couple pictures of the field and the big rolly thing. I don't even know what that is. It bears a superficial resemblance to where Wolverine and Professor X were hiding in Logan. Yes. Yeah, it's some kind of field. See a big shed over there. And we're approaching the road, and then we'll have to skirt around the cemetery. There's a little trail, and that takes you right back to Grouse Park. It's one of the first trails I took in this region, even before I moved here. I think I did that in the fall of 20, before I deployed, actually. You know, it would be interesting to find out if I can actually go into the cemetery on foot and get through to the other side to the park. I've never tried that before. There's the road that leads to the highway. There's the road that leads back to the houses. We started our journey and went that way. There's the big empty field. Yes, again, the cemetery is somewhere I've never been before. You can see a park bench way over there. I won't take pictures of individual graves, privacy, honor the dead, but I will take pictures of the quasi-public spaces, which are basically the greenery and everything. You see? There's a couple. Because throughout my life, I've always found it so beautiful, the urban spaces, the beauty and everything. So I'm just going to take the loop road all the way around, if I can. The good thing is, walking instead of taking the car, I can go where the car can't. So if that way leads to the park trail, I'll be all set. But in the meantime, we're going over here to this park bench. Well, this isn't a park, it's a cemetery. A cemetery bench. Not going to walk through the rows or anything, but there is a road that crosses in front of the park bench. I will certainly take that on my way through. Looks like there's a road that goes around the entire outer perimeter, so that'll be good. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so I'm taking my little rest. Now we go along the road and make our way out of the cemetery. Some of the headstones are flat, some of them are raised. A lot of them are pretty fancy, and some of them, it looks like they have husband and wife, which is quite something. Alright, I'm back. Let's taking a closer look at the gravestones. There are a lot that are husband and wife, which is a great thing. Some of them say stuff like, "Until we meet again." One of them has the wedding rings interlocked with the date of their marriage, so that's good. They were married for almost 50 years. Not to be morbid or anything, but since we're on the subject of cemeteries and burials and everything, my parents already purchased their plot more than 15 years ago, I think. They have a spot for me. I hope to be cremated. They have on Etsy, there's a beautiful wood-carved Star Trek themed urn. And of course, one of the backdrop pictures I'll have is the picture of me with the original Enterprise Philomene model at the Smithsonian in 2018. I hope that I won't have to use that for another 50 years. I'm only 45 now. But something to think about. I mean, before I joined the military in '09, they made us get a will. I have a civilian will. So, have to account for my collections on that one. But that's why I'm glad I'm in all those Facebook groups and model building groups, including model stash groups, so that when I'm dead, I will leave written instructions in my will to look up those specific groups and slowly, you know, give my collections and built models to a good home. Perhaps even the autographed ones, people who couldn't get to a Star Trek convention and meet William Shatner, Patrick Stewart, and everyone else. Well, could always inherit it to them. Now, we're coming out of the road here, out of the cemetery now. You can see how some of the gravestones, it's okay, it's from the back, you won't see anything. Boulders. Very rough boulders. And I have been here before. This is where you start to enter the trails and get close to the Grouse Park trails and everything. I'm not going to the right because it looks like it's all torn up. I'll go that way because I recognize the green shed here. It doesn't look too overgrown, so I will be back when I have more. It's going to be quite a long video for this day, but kind of lump it together, Grouse Park and the associating trails. There's the trail that leads along the fence that goes beside the cemetery. Trail I first discovered, 2.5 years ago or so. And here's the trail. It's hard to make out now that it's not winter. It's hard to make out the trail itself with the dead leaves from the underbrush, really. And you see some fallen trees and everything, but you know, I haven't encountered a single person on these trails all of today. I heard a voice. That means there's someone in the Grouse Park. There were a lot of someones in Grouse Park. There was some kind of baseball game going on, lots of people attending, people with equipment bags. They even opened up the refreshment stand in the park. They had a tournament schedule and everything. And I think I can see ahead of me where I am approaching perhaps either the southern end of the park or the community garden. And that community garden is where people can purchase a plot on the website for their plants. They can bring the seedlings and they can get everything all, grow everything. Alright, so these are the western trails that approach the western edge of the park. In fact, I was here just the other day, just this in the morning, I think. Actually, I went that way today. I went that way, I think. And I mean, I've taken this footage before, but only in winter. Well, I don't know if I took any footage in winter. I may have just walked. So the trail goes that way. See? Snowshoe trail. Well, it's not relevant now. It's definitely spring, edging into summer. Well, that's fascinating. I was here maybe an hour, 90 minutes ago. Long walk. The park was filled with people. Now look. There's no one in the park. There's no one in the practice field. The parking lot is empty. The baseball diamond is empty. Here's a good thumbnail of the park from the east end. So that's great. And this is Grouse Park itself. Now, beyond that concrete shed, you've seen video of this before. Last summer, last July, I got my RC car working with fresh batteries and everything. I'd taken it to the waterfront and I'd taken it on the slide. It had driven up the slide from the bottom to the top. And that was one of its final acts before the thing died and I gave it new fresh batteries. It didn't seem to make a difference. I might have to take it to 110 Hobbies at the south edge of Pembroke and see if they can fix it. And if you look through there, you'll see the community park through the trees. I'll zoom in for that thumbnail or mid-video image. You can see the soccer field, 2 of them in fact. And I mean, in the winter, they had this all roped off. It was almost like a skating trail that went along the park and everything. And now I'm getting close to the baseball diamond and the remaining people who are tearing down, so I'm going to end the video. Oh, see, there's the community garden. I went in there just earlier today. So as I was saying, now we're getting, you can see the Grouse Park scoreboard. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. There you go. Wait for the picture to reappear. There you are. Okay, good. So that should be the end of today's video. Grouse Park and the trails to the, I keep wanting to say north, but it's technically west of Deep River. So see you tomorrow, or well, when I film again. May not be tomorrow because I have friends visiting. Bye bye. If this was a letter, this would be a postscript, the PS part of the letter or the note, but this is the park from the parking lot end, yes, and the road that goes around the corner and leads to where my apartment is. And of course there are more trails over there. That becomes a skating trail in the winter. They have lights they string up around the trees and everything. It's quite something. Of course, I don't think that this winter was a bit milder. I'm not sure it was actually open all the way around all winter, because I went walking along there and didn't see anything. But it's always nice. I mean, when I lived in Chalk River, just 10-minute drive south of here, I always came up here because it had a better park, it had the actual supermarket, and I mean, I found a tax office here in March, and thankfully got my taxes done on March break before there was the big strike that CRA was and may still be involved in. Yeah, as you round the corner, there's the road, leads to Thomas Street and close to my neighborhood. Well, it's all part of my neighborhood. You saw when I post the rollerblading videos, you'll see that. And over there, it's the other set of trails. So maybe next week, when all this footage is uploaded to the Dropbox, I will get something from in there and go on that side. Go around the park. And of course, there's the other side of the park. So, for all you know, the Grouse Park videos may become a series. There may be several portions, because you can't explore everything all in one day. So anyway, that's all for now, because I'm getting to the point where I reached when I was rollerblading last summer. So I'll talk to you later. This is a true goodbye this time, and keep traveling and enjoy the journey.